Hi everyone, it's Veronica from Blue Star Crochet. Welcome to another video tutorial for this amazing crochet cabled hat. This is the Twistwood beanie, and in this video I'm going to show you how to crochet this super easy, super textured and super beautiful crochet hat for winter. So as you can see, we've got these tiny teeny mini cables that are created by some very special stitch, and I'm going to show you how to do this stitch in just a second. But let's take a look at some of the materials that we will need for our beanie. So firstly, I'm going to be using the City Tweed Aran heavyweight yarn. This is 164 yards per 100 grams and the colorway is Snowbank. So it's this beautiful off-white color with little tweed pieces throughout that creates this really interesting, lovely looking fabric. I'm going to be using a 6mm crochet hook with my yarn, but of course if you need to change the size of the hook to match the gauge, by all means do so. And then I've got some yarn needles to sort out a couple of ends. I've got scissors to cut yarn, and optional, I have got a faux fur pom-pom that you could add to the top of your hat. Alternatively, you can use yarn to make your pom-pom, in which case you will need pom-pom makers. And then to attach my faux fur yarn, I'm also going to be using a small wooden button. This is about 1.5 centimeters across button, because my faux fur pom-poms that I buy, they've got these little elastic loops that I poke through the little opening at the top of the hat and then loop it around the button. So when it comes to cleaning my hat, I can safely remove the faux fur pom-pom and just wash my hat if I need to, okay? So the hat is constructed by starting to work on this brim. So we're going to be working in this direction. As you can see, these are short rows of single crochet through back loop only. So we will create this brim in short rows, and then we're going to attach it together to form the brim, and then we will be working sort of bottom up. So we'll start working around the edge, the long edge of the brim, work up the height of our hat, and then as you can see at the very top of the hat we have got shaping. So this is not a hat that is simply cinched together. We do have shaping at the top of the hat, so we're going to shape the crown together to fit us better to sit on the head. As you can see, the brim is quite wide, so what I have done, there are two styles to wear this hat. Firstly, you can wear it with the brim as it is for kind of a slouchy look. So if the brim sits on your forehead, the rest of the hat is kind of tall enough to be slouchy at the back. Alternatively, what you can do is to turn the brim up like this, and then you get that classic beanie shape with double brim here, and then just the body is tall enough to kind of sit on your head and be like a classic beanie hat. Okay, so that's just a quick info about the hat. Let's get on with the tutorial. So as I said, we're going to start with working on the brim. So let's create our slip knot. So create a loop with your yarn and twist it over. Pop it onto your fingers and grab the tail end and pull it through. This creates our slip knot, which I'm going to pop onto the hook, and we're going to tighten it down. So the brim consists of 12 single crochet stitches, so it's 12 single crochet stitches wide. If you wanted to kind of make a smaller brim, by all means you can chain less stitches. So for 12 single crochets we need 13 chain stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. I've got 13 foundation chain stitches, and for single crochet I'm going to start working into the second chain from the hook. So that's insert your hook, yarn over, pull through. I've got 2 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's the single crochet, and I'm going to work 1 single crochet, into each foundation chain across. And because we started into the second chain from the hook, after chaining 13 chains, we will have 12 single crochet stitches because we skip the first chain stitch and start working into the second one. So altogether 12 single crochets like this. Okay, so here's my first 12 single crochet stitches to create my brim. I'm going to turn my work and I'm going to chain one. Now this chain one at the beginning of the row does not count as a stitch throughout. And I'm going to start with a standard single crochet under both loops at the top. So just insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's my first single crochet complete. Now for the next 10 single crochets, I'm going to work through back loop only. Okay, so when I look at the top, there are 2 loops. So I've got this one closer to me is the front loop, and then this one further away from me is the back loop. So I'm going to be working through the back loop only. Insert through the back loop, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. And I'm going to repeat this across the next 10 single crochets or until I reach the very last stitch. And the very last stitch is going to be once again a standard single crochet under both loops. And the reason I do this is because it looks neater and gives you a bit more support for the edges of your hat, because when you kind of put in a hat on and off, this edge here comes under quite a lot of stretch. So if you work through the back loop only on these very end parts, it will kind of stretch out of proportion and look a little bit messy. So the very last single crochet here, as I said, under both loops of that last one and work single crochet. Okay, and this is basically row 2 is what we're gonna now repeat until we have enough rows to go around your head. There are several different sizes in a written pattern on my blog bluestarcrochet.com or in the PDF that you can purchase from Etsy, Ravelry or my YouTube shop. So go ahead and have a look at the written pattern to see how many times you need to repeat row 2 to work up the brim, okay? So the brim is big enough to go around your head or the head of the recipient you're making the hat for, okay? So as I said, repeat row 2 as many times as you need to according to the written pattern. Alternatively, you can customize the size of your hat. All you need to remember is that you need even number of stitches or even number of rows of your brim, because then when we turn the brim and pick up these stitches here, we need even number of stitches. So bear that in mind if you're adjusting the pattern. But as I said, for now I'm just gonna repeat row 2 and work the row 2 as many times as I need to for the newborn size, because I'm just going to be making the newborn size for the purpose of this video tutorial. So go ahead and I'll meet you back at the end of the brim. And as you can see, I have finished the brim, so I made as many rows as I need to for the newborn size. Now what we're going to do is fold it in half like this, and I'm going to use my yarn, which is still attached, to crochet the last row with the underside of the foundation chain. So I'm going to go through the back loop only of the stitch and through the underside of the foundation chain, and I'm simply using single crochet stitches. Okay, so through back loop only, through the next chain stitch, and finish up the single crochet. So that's how I attach the brim. And once we do this, we're gonna have the kind of like a tube shape, and we're gonna continue working across the edge stitches of each row, and we're going to pick up stitches for the main body. Okay, so go ahead and attach your brim like this. There we go. And here we go. So my brim is now attached. As you can see, it's this kind of circle shape. Okay, so the brim is attached into a tube shape, and what we're gonna do now is pick up stitches. We pull this end inside. What we're gonna do is we're gonna be working around the end single crochet stitches of each row. So if I just take you slightly closer here, what we're going to do is, if you look on the edge, we've got these 2 loops here. So that's one of the stitches we're going to be working through like this, okay? So these 2 loops. And then when you look here, it's followed by this gap here, okay? So that's the end stitches we're working through. So you've got these 2 loops here, like this, okay? And then when you look, we've got this gap here, okay? So that's the stitches I work through when it says to work around the end stitches of each row. This is what we're working through, okay? So to start the very first stitch, we're going to work crossed double crochet, okay? So to start the first one, I'm going to start with standing double crochet. So I'm going to extend my loop, place my finger onto that loop, twist the hook towards me and back away from me, still holding onto that loop, because if you let go, it's just going to fall apart, okay? So place your finger on that loop and keep holding it until the stitch is finished. So again, twist your hook, and as you can see now, I've got 2 loops on my hook. Then I'm going to insert my hook into the first end stitch, yarn over, pull through. I've got 3 loops on my hook, and then yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so this is my first standing double crochet right here. And what I'm going to do to make the first cross double crochet, I'm actually going to go back, okay, and work around the end single crochet of the previous row, okay, because I need to cross these stitches over. But rather than moving your starting position, I've done the first standing double crochet here, and now I'm going to go back and insert my hook into the last stitch of the previous round, okay? So yarn over, insert your hook back through the stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's our first cross double crochet, okay? We're crossing 2 double crochets over. Now to work the next one, I'm gonna skip the next stitch to work into, and I'm gonna concentrate on the next one. So we're skipping 1 stitch, and I'm gonna work double crochet into the next one like this, okay? And then I'm gonna go back to the skipped stitch and work double crochet into that one, crossing over the double crochet I just made like this. Oh, I didn't catch both loops. Here we go. So that's cross double crochet, okay? So again, skip the next one, double crochet into the next, and then go back to the skipped stitch and work double crochet into that skipped stitch, working across the double crochet that we already have, okay? So that's cross double crochet here. So that's the first round, and I'm gonna just go ahead and work all the way around the brim of the hat, picking up stitches around the end single crochets of each row. That's what we're working into, okay? So there we go. And you can see the first cross double crochet, we used the first row with the last row from the brim to cross it over rather than having to move the stitch, okay? So go ahead and work around the brim of your hat. As I said, if you decided to adjust the size and not follow the written pattern, make sure you have got even number of stitches, because as you can see, to complete one cross double crochet we need 2 stitches, so you will need even number of stitches or even number of rows on your brim for the stitch to work out. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and work to the end of the round, and I will meet you back when we start on round number 2. And here we go, we are at the end of round 1, where we just worked the cross double crochet, and to join the round I simply slip stitch into the top of the first standing double crochet there to start round 2. And round 2 is going to be the one that we're just going to repeat to build up the height of our hat before moving on to the decreases at the crown. Okay, so to start round 2 I'm going to chain 2. Now this chain 2 doesn't count as a stitch, it's purely to gain a little bit of height for our first stitch. So now when I look at the first cross double crochet here, okay, I've got the standing double crochet here, and then the second double crochet we worked there. Okay, so what we're going to do next is basically work the cross double crochet, but we're not going to be going through the top loops of that stitch. We're going to be working around the post of the stitch. Okay, so this is going to be from post cross double crochet. So I'm going to yarn over and skip the first standing double crochet here and look at this next stitch. So I'm going to insert my hook to the back to the front, yarn over and pull through, then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's my first stitch. And now what I'm going to do is go back to the stitch that we skipped, so the first standing double crochet there, and I'm going to yarn over and insert my hook around the post of the stitch, again from post, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so that's my first from post cross double crochet, and as I said, the chain 2 doesn't count as a stitch. Let's go ahead and make a few more from post double crochets together. So this is my next cross double crochet here, and as I said, I'm going to skip this first one here and concentrate on the next double crochet, and I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook around the post of that stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 and pull through 2. And now I'm going to go back to the stitch that I skipped and work around the post of that stitch again from post double crochet like this. Okay, so as you can see, we are creating the cross double crochet, but instead of the top loops we're working around the post of the stitches. So again, yarn over, skip the next double crochet, work around the post of the next stitch, and then again go back to the skipped double crochet and work around the post of that stitch. Okay, so that is basically it. That is the stitch. That is super easy way to create that beautiful texture, the beautiful kind of easy small cabled stitch. It kind of looks like cables, but it's super easy to do. There are no back post stitches, there are no tricky stitches to work. It's just this beautiful crossed double crochet, but worked around the post of the stitch. Okay, so all that's left to do now is go ahead and work up the round. And when we come to the end of the round, just to say, when you work the last stitch, as I said, the chain 2 doesn't count as a stitch. So when you work your last stitch, we're going to slip stitch into the top of that first double crochet there. Okay, so completely dismiss that 2 chain and slip stitch into the top of that first double crochet. So all that's left for me to do is go ahead and finish the round, then work up as many rounds as you need for the height of the hat, And once we've done that, I'm gonna come back to you and show you how we're gonna decrease these cross double crochets, from post cross double crochets, into a hat shape. So we're going to shape the crown with this stitch, which might prove a little bit tricky at the moment, but I'll show you how to do it, and it's totally super easy. I was actually surprised myself how easy that was to use this stitch to shape the fabric. So go ahead, work up the hat, work up the height, and I'll meet you back when it's time to shape the crown. And here I am with my hat height finished. So for the newborn size, I did 11 rounds of the front post cross double crochet. Now we're going to shape the crown together, and this is going to happen over 3 rounds. So it's pretty rapid shaping of the crown. So make sure that the height of your hat is very nearly there, because the next 3 rounds are going to add just a little bit of height. Okay, so to start the first decrease round, I'm going to go and chain 2. Once again, the chain 2 doesn't count as a stitch. Okay, and what we're going to do is basically just work 1 front post double crochet around each crossed front post cross double crochet. Okay, so as you can see, that's my first crossed double crochet there, and the front post double crochet is yarn over, insert your hook around the front post cross double crochet, yarn over, pull through, and then pull through 2, pull through 2. Okay, so just front post double crochet around the front post cross double crochet. Okay, so this is going to reduce the number of stitches to half. Okay, because we're working 1 front post double crochet around 2 stitches. So go ahead and work around, working 1 front post double crochet around each front post cross double crochet. So as you can see, it's already kind of pulling in together. This is where we are at the moment. Just front post double crochet around each front post cross double crochet, and I'll meet you back at the end of the round. Here we go. You can already see that the top is getting cinched, it's kind of being pulled together. So let's move on with decrease round number 2. We're gonna again chain 2, which doesn't count as a stitch again, and now what we're gonna work is front post double crochet 2 together. So we're gonna decrease by joining these 2 stitches together using a front post double crochet. So I'm gonna yarn over, insert my hook around the post of the first front post double crochet, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. This is where I'm going to stop, because I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook around the post of the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Now I've got 3 loops on my hook, and I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on a hook. So as you can see, we use the front post double crochet to double crochet these 2 stitches together into one. So once again, yarn over, insert around the post of the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over, insert around the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. That's 3 loops on a hook, and then yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on a hook. Okay, so as I said, we're using the front post double crochet 2 together all the way around. So go ahead and work up this round. So that's decrease round number 2, and then we're going to do 1 more round of front post double crochets. That's going to finish off shaping of the crown, and all that's left to do is finish the hat off by attaching a pom-pom. Here we go, and that's the front post double crochet 2 together all the way around, and as you can see, the opening is getting smaller and smaller. And for the very last round, again, chain 2, and what we're going to do now is just work 1 front post double crochet around each of the front post double crochet 2 together. Okay, so as you can see, you've got 1 loop at the top, but sort of like 2 posts of the stitch there. So again, go around the post of both of those stitches and work your way around the top opening, and this will really cinch the opening together to shape our crown. And here we go after the very last round. So I'm just gonna chain through and cut my yarn, leaving slightly longer tail end, because we're gonna use this tail end with our needle just to cinch the very top of your hat. Okay, and this is super easy. As you can see, the hole is pretty small, so what we're gonna do is just weave the yarn in and out. Okay, so go in and out through the last stitches like this to cinch the very top. Okay, so we're gonna pull on it, and as you can see, that's a pretty neat crown of the hat. Okay, so all that's left to do is sew these couple of ends in, okay, to sort out the ends. I'm just gonna pop this one on the inside, and I'll see to that one in just a moment. But this is our hat. This is the newborn size, so it's really tiny and cute. And as you can see, you can either, I mean, I don't know, would newborn babies wear slouchy hats? Probably not. So you can just kind of fold the brim over and have a nice little newborn beanie like this. Alternatively, if you wanted to go ahead and pop a faux fur pom-pom on like an adult one, then what I do is go on the inside here, and as you can see, this is the top, this is the crown, okay, the very top of your hat. So on the inside, I just sew in this button, simply just through the hole a few times, fasten off and sew that end in securely as well. And then to attach my pom-pom, I bought these off Amazon, and they've got these really handy elastic loop on them, so they're really great in kind of attaching them to the hat and taking them off. And the way I attach it, I just go behind this button and poke my hook through the opening and on the crown. Like, you cinch it in, but there is still kind of a little bit of a loose opening in the very middle. Then grab the elastic with my hook and pull it through to the inside, and simply loop the elastic around the button there like this. And then when we pop it the right way out, as you can see, the pom-pom is attached. This is really handy if you want to take the pom-pom off, if you want to wash your hat, if you want to clean it. It's really great way to have a removable pom-pom, so you can do so. So there we go. That's the Twistwood beanie. That's the Twistwood beanie hat pattern. I hope you enjoyed the video tutorial, and I can't wait to see your versions of this super cute, really easy cabled crochet hat. Go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you enjoyed the video tutorial today, and turn the notifications on so you get notified every time I upload a new tutorial or any other videos. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.